Okay, welcome everybody. I am so glad that you're with me for this first new moon class of the year. I've been leading new moon and full moon classes. I started kind of in the fall and then set my New Year's resolution. I have a whole big list. I went big this year and big and specific this year instead of vague and amorphous. Actually, kind of been doing vague and amorphous. And I wanted to go big and specific this year. So my big specific one in relation to, well, this was to teach 24 of these classes. And then immediately after I set that list, I got COVID. So I thought, well, why not offer this first one for free? So we're tapping into new moon, full moon energy. One of the reasons I'm bringing this in, because it's something that I wanted to really learn and study because I have a passing interest in astrology. But also the moon, it's a moon cycle. It's definitely a metaphor for our changing emotions, our changing lives, because things can change so often. And with the 12 zodiac signs, we have this nice opportunity to tap into 12 different energies during, and ultimately becomes 24 different energies during the course of the year. And I thought, why not? That would be a really nice way to do the practice. So we're doing a new moon practice for the new moon in Capricorn, and it went uh, into the new moon just a few hours ago, I think. And the moon will transition shortly into Capricorn. And excuse me, not Capricorn, but Aquarius. But Capricorn energy is associated with discipline, determination, and practicality. So we can take this into our practice. We are taking this into our yoga practice, but also into this practice of the new year. Many of us may have set intentions on the first of the year, and some of those intentions may have already fallen away for various reasons. Sometimes an intention falls away, a resolution, whatever you want to call it, a goal falls away because we realize that's not really authentic and that's not really something we want to do. Sometimes it falls away because it's really big and we're not sure how to take the necessary steps to get there, or we get distracted, or what have you. But every day is a new day, and we can pick up and we can start on that path again. So this energy that we're tapping into is the energy of ordering things. I am a Capricorn. My birthday was the 5th. I'm like, well, this is kind of like a hobbit birthday because hobbits give presents on their birthdays. They don't receive presents, they give presents. So this is my belated hobbit birthday present to everybody. It's a yoga class for you. So that sense of order, that sense of discipline, that sense of determination, the sense of step by step and focus. And right now is a good time to set an intention towards your goals. As we go through the practice this evening, I'll lead you through it in a little more flowery language in a moment, but I'll lead you through welcoming, starting to welcome an intention. We did this similar practice last night with our yoga teacher training students. We just started a yoga training last night. And so we had bay leaves, and to write it on a bay leaf, what your intention is. And I had, excuse me, the students put that leaf on their mat. So you could use a piece of paper or journal or what have you, and put it on your mat and don't write anything on it yet, because maybe there's some intention that you're ready to have flow towards you as a result of the practice. And it may come at any point during the practice. You may find yourself going, yes, that's what I'm working towards. Or you may just be affirming yourself as a container to receive that intention. For the practice, I've got 2 blocks at my mat. So you might need a block. You might not need a block. If you don't have a block, because some of us just don't have yoga props, use a chair instead. Again, you might not need it. You might want a cushion. You might also want a blanket. I'm going to use a blanket to sit on. Feel free to modify anything in any way you need to modify. You might discover a brand new yoga pose in your practice today, and I think that's beautiful. I'm going to shift back to my mat. If there's something I lead you through that feels uncomfortable or doesn't work for your body, feel free to adjust your position. And I'm putting my phone on airplane mode so I don't get any interruptions during class because it'll interrupt the audio. Okay. So finding your seated position, you could sit in Sukhasana or a cross-legged position, or if it felt more comfortable, you could sit in Vajrasana. So sitting hips on the heels. I'm using the blanket underneath my ankles to make it more comfortable. Your choice. Any other seated position is fine. And we're going to start with Shuni Mudra, which is your thumb touching the pad of your middle finger, and then the backs of the hands rest on the thighs. The other fingers are extended. And we're using this mudra to enhance discipline, patience, and focus. There are other energetic effects and breath effects that happen with the mudra. And I will leave those for you to discover because it's different for each of us, where we may feel a sensation in the body, how the breath may change as a result of the breathing, of the mudra, the hand gesture. And I don't want to tell you, I don't want to direct and dictate your personal experience. So, with that said, we follow the path of least resistance with the breath. Every breath is an opportunity to tune inwards, to turn inwards. You could take that inner radio station and tune it from the outside radio stations to the inside radio station. Noticing here what the body is asking for, what the body needs as a result of your practice today. Perhaps beginning to ask that internal question of, what is my heart longing for? What is my intention? What are the seeds that I am planting? And you can ask that question without any expectation of an answer. We'll start to shift our breath to an ujjayi breath. This is an ujjayi, a form of ujjayi that many of us are familiar with, a simplified version. And the easiest way for some people of a certain age to get there is with Darth Vader, just to mimic how Darth Vader breathes with the mouth closed. And for those of you that are not Star Wars fans and don't know what Darth Vader breathing is, no worries. I'll lead you through it. We can start by bringing the hand in front of the mouth, a hand, and exhaling as though you're trying to fog a mirror. So you can feel the warmth of the breath on the palm of the hand. Noticing the constriction in the throat that makes this sound. You can release the hand, bring it back into your Shuni Mudra. Continue breathing that way with an open mouth. Pay attention to the constriction, the sensation at the back of the throat that makes that noise. Now try and keep that sensation, that constriction at the back of the throat as you now attempt to inhale through that sensation. So we're moving the breath in and out through the throat noisily. This helps us to cultivate inner strength. Now, the last piece of this practice is to keep the breath audibly moving in the throat like this and close the lips. So anytime you lose, the sound, simply open your mouth, reset it. I'll try and remind you repeatedly through the practice to come back to your Ujjayi breath. And in the beginning, especially if Ujjayi breathing is a newer practice to you, keep it nice and audible. Over time, we begin to soften the breath, but in the beginning, we keep it nice and noisy. Let's take 3 more breaths here with your Shuni Mudra. And then release the palms open, release the fingers, and take another 3 breaths here, still Ujjayi breaths, to notice any shifts or changes in the breath, the focus. When you finish your 3rd breath, bring yourself into a table position, simple table position, and here for or some organic movements. And by organic, I mean self-guided, natural movements. You may have discovered in your seated position what needs a little releasing. Maybe there's something that you want to stretch. We've been seated for a little bit, so maybe you want to open the backs of the legs a little, pressing out through the heel. Still Ujjayi breath. We'll do 6 more breaths here. Any movements you want, any noises you want. Keep breathing. Um, When you finish your sixth breath, we'll move through a downward facing dog, lifting the hips into the air, dropping the head, and then walking the feet towards the hands, bringing the feet slightly wider apart than the hips, and then bring the hands up above the thighs. We're shifting into the pose Uttanasana, often translated as forward folds. You might want your blocks for this. I'll demonstrate how I might use the blocks. Uttanasana here is an opportunity for release, letting go of some things so we can invite and allow space for new intentions. So with your Uttanasana, we tend to collapse in this pose, and sometimes a little collapse is nice, like it can feel good. Ah, but for Uttanasana, we want to open and lengthen the spine. So pressing through the heels, bend the knees as you inhale, and then exhale, begin to lift your tailbone towards the sky as you lengthen your spine out, out, out. How much longer can you make your spine here? Opening through the front of the body, the back of the body, the sides of the body. Uttanasana is a posture, a pose that encourages us to move beyond all self-imposed limitations. Big breath in, release, bend your knees, and then exhale, lengthen into the posture. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, soften everything, wiggle, wiggle any effort out. Exhale, lengthen. That Capricorn energy, because it's so determined and orderly, it can kind of get a little intense. And so Capricorns are people that need to make room for release and softening. So we inhale, soften. We have to balance that moving out strongly into the world with the coming home. Exhale, lengthen. Now let's give one long round of the sound ah to invite a little more release. Inhaling. Excellent. Bend the knees. You can move your blocks off your mat. Bring your head above your heart. We've kind of been in that position for a while. So let the uh, fluids in the body adjust before we then come all the way up to standing. Palms open. This is Sukhasana, or Samastiti. Just a sense of sameness. Let the eyes be soft. As you take 3 Ujjayi breaths here. We're going to take this now into some sun salutations where we focus on the steady movements, intentional movements. So not mindless, it's very intentional to build strength and some warmth in the body. It is winter for those of us in the northern hemisphere after all. So let's bring the palms into prayer position, Anjali Mudra. Taking a moment here to invite that sense of being a vessel ready to be filled with intention. Big breath in. Exhale, release the arms down to the sides. And then inhale, sweep the arms out wide to bring them overhead. And on the exhale, arms wide, bend the knees to come all the way down, planting fingertips on the floor, bending the knees as much as you need to do that. Inhale here. And then with an exhale, we step the right foot back to bring the right knee down. On the next inhale, we sweep all the way up, reaching the arms up nice and long. Let the abdomen draw in to support the spine. Exhale, and this will be a nice long exhale as we bring the palms flat, step the other knee back, and lower your chest and chin to the floor for an 8-point bow. And then on the inhale, we stretch out long, bringing forehead or chin to the floor in a prostration as we bow to that which we hold highest and most dear in our lives. On the next exhale, drawing the lower abdomen in to lift head, neck, and shoulders up. Inhaling here, curl the toes under, and then exhale back to table, child, downward facing dog. 3 Ujjayi breaths here. Intentional breath. And then on an inhale, on an exhale, the left knee comes down as the right foot comes forward. Then the following inhale, we sweep the arms up. And then a nice long exhale to bring fingertips to the floor to step the back foot to meet that right foot. Then we bend the knees, sweep the arms up, arms embracing light. Embrace the light. Exhale, draw to the heart. So that's what our sun salutation looks like. We did a half of one because we did it with the right foot. So we'll do it now with the left foot. Maybe a little faster. Remember to take any breaths you need to take when you need to take them. And if you get out of sync with my directions, bless that. That's where you are. So we inhale, exhale, release the arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up, embracing that light. Exhale, dive the heart forward all the way down, dropping the head. Fingertips to the floor as you, or legs, as you inhale with a straight spine, knees can be bent. Exhale, left knee back and down. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, lower down. And it's hands, chest, and chin. And then the inhale is releasing into that full prostration to that which you hold highest and dearest in your life. Exhale, draw the abdomen in. Light pressure in the hands to lift head, neck, and shoulders. And then we curl toes under on the inhale. Table, child, or downward dog. 3 breaths. Ujjayi breaths. And then on the next exhale, we look between the hands, The right knee drops as the left foot comes forward. And we inhale, sweep up, open hearted, lifting the corners of the mouth, even if you don't mean it. Exhale, hands down and step that back foot forward. Drop the head. Inhale, sweep up, embracing that light, what the light brings as you draw it down to the heart. Taking 3 Ujjayi breaths here. And now, exhale, release the hands. Inhale, sweep up. Let's use Mahara to dive forward. Mahara, hands to the floor. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, right knee back. Inhale, sweep up, heart open. Exhale to your 8-point bow. Inhale, release to your prostration. Exhale, maybe a little more weight in the hands as you lift a little higher. Inhale, toes curl under. Exhale, downward dog, table or child. 3 breaths. And on an exhale, the right foot comes forward. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, back down, step the feet together. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, draw to the heart. Inhale at the heart. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, sweep up, Maharada dive again. Mahara. Drop the head. Inhale, spine lengthens. Exhale, left knee back. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, your 8-point bow. Inhale all the way into that prostration, to that which is highest. Exhale, draw the abdomen in, maybe lifting even higher this time. And toes curl under on that inhale, and on the exhale, downward dog, table, or child. 2 more breaths. With an exhale, left foot comes forward. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale. That Uttanasana again, dropped head. Inhale, sweep up, embrace that light, hang out here for a second, reach higher, imagining yourself a channel for energy, a channel so that you can be filled with intention. Let's use Om to draw it to the heart. And here we start to settle into our mountain pose, bringing our feet hip distance apart. Feel free to check if you need to check. Grounding through the feet, Press down into the earth as though you could grow roots out of your feet, both physical and energetic. Roots for stability, roots for endurance and strength. The mountain endures many things. And sometimes even the face of the mountain is changed through erosion over time, and yet the core of the mountain remains. Pressing down even more, feel the rebound of energy moving up, up, up through the body, allowing you to feel taller. Inviting you to feel more present. Let's take 3 more Ujjayi breaths here. And when you finish your 3rd Ujjayi breath, you're going to step the feet nice and wide apart with the toes pointed forward. Now, because I know the sequence, I know you might need a block because we're going to invite a little side angle. So if you know what that pose is, you want to use a block, you can set your blocks up at either end of the mat. If you have no idea what it is, don't worry about it. You'll be surprised. So it does not matter which leg you start with, but take one leg and you're going to lift the toe, the ball of the foot up and the toes, and rotate that leg out at a 90-degree angle so that the toes align with the knees, align with the hip. You'll notice that your pelvis has gone from straight forward to now slightly turned. That's fine. That's natural. It's what your pelvis is supposed to do. Take that back leg and lift up the heel so you're on the ball of the foot and turn that heel out. So now this leg is rotated in. This will support that healthy pelvis. So we'll start to test the knee and test the stance. This is Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Ultimately, one day, knee is over the ankle and the thigh is parallel, which may be a lot of work. Maybe you're up for the challenge. If your body's, no, I've had enough, you can step that leg a little closer and so you won't go down as far. We should feel nothing in that knee. If you're feeling it, straighten the leg a little bit, unbend it a little bit, pressing that knee out. Exhale, knee over the ankle. Draw your torso back to the center. Bring your shoulders in line with the hips. You're rotating a little bit. And on the next exhale, send the arms out long, palms facing the earth, and turn to look out over those fingertips. We're cultivating strength and determination, meeting life's challenges with resilience. Exhale, drop the shoulders and reach the fingers away from each other. If you feel you want to bend the knee, elbows a little bit, feel free to do so. Let's take 3 breaths here. Nice and long. Draw that abdomen in as you exhale for support. And then straighten that forward leg as you bring the arms up overhead. And now on the exhale, bend the knee, bring your elbow to your thigh, your back hand to your back hip. Or you can bring your hand to the block, whichever you'd like, or chair. Roll that top shoulder open. And then backhand, maybe it just rotates open, thumb towards the ceiling. Maybe reaches up or even reaches alongside the ear. Utthita Parshvakonasana, opening the side body with a steady foundation. 3 more breaths, Ujjayi breaths. Reach that hand up, push into the floor with that forward leg. Release the hand. And now let's step those feet together so we can enjoy lopsidedness. And everyone always, oh, why are you saying that, Rose? I'm so lopsided. I don't like it. I don't want to be here. But the more that we can rest in discomfort, the easier it becomes to experience discomfort. As we all know, there are plenty of situations in life where we feel uncomfortable. The more you practice at being uncomfortable, the easier it becomes to be uncomfortable. Ultimately, it turns into a practice of impulse control. Now let's do the other side with intention because we choose to do the other side, not because we have to or even need to. So again, toes are forward. This time it's the other leg, and you're rotating that leg open. So you have a nice 90-degree angle with that forward leg, and the back toes turn in. Again, the pelvis is going to be at a nice angle, pressing down through the feet and bending that forward knee over the ankle a couple of times so you can find that position. So you can know if your staff comfort or your stance comfortable, not staff. Although if you're practicing with the staff, go for it. So once here, draw that abdomen in and draw the torso back to center. So we're not leaning forward. Rotate the torso open as though you're facing forward again. Palms at the heart, inhale. And then exhale, open the arms, reach the fingers wide, looking out over those forward fingers. Again, cultivating strength and determination, facing our challenges with resilience. Now that we know the pose, let's use the sound of rum. Rum. Once more. Rum. Inhale, arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bend that knee again as you bring the elbow to the thigh, the hand to the hip, roll the hip open, roll the heart open, draw the abdomen in, zip those abs up. Again, you can find your arm position. Maybe you'd like that nice long side body opening. And let's use yum here for the heart. Deep breath in. Yum. Again. Yum. And then inhale, bring the hand up, push into the foot, straighten the leg. And again, step the feet together, palms open, eyes soft, back in that samasthiti pose where things are more the same. The sameness, the steadiness that comes from the halves of the body being in a state of sameness or evenness. And here in this position, once again, check in with that light flowing to you, flowing through you, illuminating intention. Inhaling. And then on the exhale, slowly melting towards the floor. We're going to be coming to a seated position. So you can roll down or straight spine down. Maybe revisiting that Uttanasana to move beyond all previously held and self-imposed limitations. For some of you, you may wish to continue lowering the hips into a squat. And then from a squat, releasing onto your rear, grabbing a blanket. We're going to set up for Janu Shirshasana. If you don't know what pose that is, don't worry, I'm leading you through it. So we'll bring the left foot into the sole of the left foot into the right thigh. Use your blanket to support your hips. Where your heel is in relation to your other leg is totally up to your body. Now that right leg, and I am being specific, I'll move my foot back into view. I am being specific on the side of the body because it does matter. We want to compress the ascending colon first. So those toes are up towards the ceiling, the kneecap is up towards the ceiling, fingertips are planted on either side of the thigh. Inhale. And on the exhale, extend the spine up as you soften the eyes and lean forward. Janu Shirshasana, or this pose, is not a collapsed rounding forward. No, it's a nice extended length forward, where each vertebra lifts off of the previous vertebra, where the spine is so long. Eventually, we're much closer to the thigh, but symbolically, the length of time that it takes for us to come into that position is about the length of time that it takes to achieve some of our more difficult goals in life. So instead, we focus on the grounding, the pressing down through the hip, the practical forward, upward, forward movement, and the guidance of the breath. And let's use the sound of O-U here. We'll do that 3 times. And then we inhale, rise up, pausing here. And we're reflecting upon the journey out over the leg. And if we think we didn't get very far, know that you got very far. That perhaps the hardest part of yoga is to stop forcing. And now let's switch legs. So left leg is extended, sole of the right foot and the inner left thigh. Fingertips are on either side. Again, toes up towards the ceiling, kneecap up towards the ceiling, shoulders rotated towards those toes. Inhale. Exhale, press down, down, down through the hips as the spine lengthens up. Inhale, soften. Exhale, press down, lengthen up, hinging forward. Again, soften the eyes. Every time we inhale back out of the pose, every time we exhale, we lengthen and start to move forward. Again, oh, ooh, here. One more time. And then with an inhale, we rise back up, pausing for a moment, releasing all effort. And then shifting into your cross-legged position or any other seated position. And we're going to bring in the practice of bee breath. Now, some of you I know bee breath. And for those of you that do not know bee breath, don't worry. We're going to come at it through our Ujjayi breath. So let's start with the Ujjayi breath again. Focus on the exhale. Let's shift this now to a humming breath. And there's actual good research about a humming breath. So if a hum is all you get to today, know that you're doing good work with a hum. So humming on the exhale. Again, let the hum last as long as you have breath to carry that exhale. Do that one more time. You may notice that as we hum, the placement of the tongue is kind of down in the mouth and perhaps even pushed forward towards the teeth. Now we're going to invite the tongue, the back of the tongue to the back of the throat, and you'll suddenly get a sound that sounds more like a hive of bees. Let's try that. Do that again, letting that sound go as long as is comfortable. And that may be enough for you. You may wish to continue to practice with that version of deep breath, or if you'd like to do the next 3 rounds of deep breath, we'll use the hands to support this introspection, the invitation of calm that deep breath brings, and is our intention with this practice within the context of our practice today. So that hand position, if you've got glasses on, you can remove glasses unless you want to watch. And then palms can come over the eyes, and the thumbs, don't do it just yet, but the thumbs will use that tragus, the flappy cartilage in front of the ear, and you'll use that to push the thumbs to push that tragus into the ear canal. This is, of course, going to feel uncomfortable if you have a piercing right there. So feel free to modify in any way, or just not even close off your ears. So we'll do 3 rounds of that bee breath vibrating at the back of the throat with the eyes soft, maybe even closing off the ears. When you finish your third breath, release your hands. Inhaling, close off the ears to begin. And when you're complete, with palms resting open, eyes soft, noticing that rising bubble of quiet or softness. You might not be inside it yet, but maybe you notice that there's something within you that is quieter. And in that growing sense of quietness, we can hear the thrum of the heart, the pulse of the heart beating out a rhythm. And that rhythm is the rhythm of your intentions, of your greatest spiritual intention. Listen. And let's now take this into a rest position, Shavasana. Stretching yourself on your mat, passing through any movement or release that you need. Perhaps using a cushion under the head. Perhaps using something underneath the knees to support the back. It feels good to have the legs out long, let them be out long. If the back feels any kind of tension, bend the knees and let the knees rest against each other, feet slightly wider. Hands can rest on the abdomen or open at the sides. A nice deep sighing out exhale here. And with the release of breath, inviting the release of anything else that you have been hanging on to. It doesn't need to be present anymore. Eyes becoming soft. Feeling the ground beneath you as stable and solid, supportive. Allowing yourself to rest into this support. And as we allow ourselves to receive the support of a grounding, stable earth beneath us, we allow ourselves to open, to blossom. It enables us to move beyond those self-imposed limitations. Every exhale invites even more softness, even more letting go. And within this softness, hearing that pulse of the heart, the rhythm of the heart even more clearly. Offering up the gift of intention. Offering up the pathway, the steps that you need to take towards that intention, that you want to take towards that intention. Like a golden path laid out before you. The only effort needed is nudging one foot in front of the other. Breathing here with the heart. Feeling the heart moving in the body. Feeling the breath moving in the body. And with the heart moving in the body, the breath moving in the body, we begin to deepen the breath a little bit more. As the breath is deepening, we begin to stretch. Start by wiggling the toes, wiggling the ankles, then the knees, then the hips, then stretching, then we reach, we yawn, we stretch ourselves, awake, wiggling, until ultimately rolling ourselves over onto one side and giving ourselves the hug that we have been longing for. And then on an exhale, pressing yourself into your seated position. And in your seated position, let's bring our palms into prayer position at the heart. And we'll offer up a healing tone of Om. Inhaling. And then bringing our hands to our hearts. We'll offer up our heart prayer. I'll say it twice. Feel free to join me when you're ready. With great love and respect, I honor my heart, my inner teacher. With great love and respect, I honor my heart, my inner teacher. So, big thank you to each of you.